Welcome back. The heavy downpour pounding the country is growing into a real crisis, with nearly 70 people losing their lives and 147,000 displaced. The families are desperate for help that does not appear to be on the way. Just who is taking note? Earlier, I spoke to Cabinet Secretary Devolution Eugene Wamalwa, who is also in charge of special programs. And I began by asking him, what is the government doing to mitigate the effects of the floods?
First of all, we just want to tell Kenyans that the ongoing rains that have created the floods had been already predicted by our experts. The meteorological department had warned us that there would be heavy rains, particularly in western Kenya, parts of Rift Valley, and even areas that were not getting rains before. So it is something that is expected. And we expect that after these long rains, again, there will be drought. These are the results of climate change that are going to be the terrible new normal. There will be a pendulum swing from floods straight to drought, from drought to floods. This is what the experts have told us. But as government, we have made plans to try and ensure we focus our resources towards water harvesting and storage.
Okay.
For now,
I'll just stop you
trying
there.
To help the families affected.
I'll stop you there shortly, Waziri. You'll come back to the issues of what you're doing shortly. But because you mentioned this, I remember interviewing here just 2 months ago and talking about extremes in this country. You were then rolling out a campaign to feed thousands who are facing starvation. Now we're talking about floods again. You're talking about water harvesting. What specific things are you doing? Or what specific projects are you doing to harvest this water?
One way of dealing with it, because we must think long term. As we have been told, with climate change, these rains will be coming, floods will be coming, but then there will be drought also. So we are investing in major infrastructural development in terms of ensuring construction of mega dams across the country, even in the arid and semi-arid areas that are now experiencing a lot of rains. And these rains have had devastating effects. So areas like Wajir, we are constructing a dam called Butte Dam. An area like Isiolo, where we sent a team there just yesterday. We are working on Crocodile Jaw Dam, which will be a mega dam that will help Laikipia, Samburu, as well as Isiolo itself. Would like to see these dams constructed even areas like Turkana that have had no dams before. And we have Lawat Dam. I just was there last week and we visited the area where the dam will be constructed. Once we have these mega dams, when we have these heavy rains, we will be able to harvest this water, store this water. After that, the water will be used for irrigation. It will be used for domestic use as well as for animals, particularly in pastoralist areas. But for now, with what is happening, we must bring relief to the areas affected. We are taking food and non-food items to affected areas, and to the affected families, we are giving them support in conjunction with the county governments and the Red Cross.
You talk about Waziri, you talk about these dams that you're building, and that is a good thing. But from how you're talking, these are dams and projects that are going on now. Some are yet to start. And I'm asking about currently. There's a lot of water we're seeing, floods everywhere. What you're telling me, in other words, is that right now we have no mechanisms to harvest this water.
I think the truth is that we have, over the last 50 years, not invested greatly in dams or in water harvesting and storage. But as part of our strategy to achieve our national food security, this is the way to go. And that is why we had in 2016 the Water Act passed, for the first time creating the Water Harvesting and Storage Authority under the 2016 Water Act. And we are putting in place strategies and institutions that will now focus on this. So it is an effort that must cut across. The county governments are doing their part. But as national government, we know the solution lies in constructions of mega dams. These will have the capacity to store billions of liters of water. We'll avoid the runoff, we'll avoid the floods, the water going to the ocean, and we will be able to increase our food production. We will be able, particularly in all our irrigation schemes that have had very limited capacity. A scheme like Bunyala, we've only been doing about 2,000 acres.
Okay.
But with the construction of water harvesting facilities, we will be able to do almost 10,000 acres. We are doubling production in Mwea. Tiba Dam is under construction as we speak, and we'll have over 10,000 acres there as well. And this we want to do everywhere across the country. Right.
Sadly, we then, I mean, from what you're saying, sadly we'll still have to wait for this infrastructure to be put in place so that we can harvest this water. For now, it seems
they will take time.
We don't have a choice for now.
We're saying that mega dams take time.
Okay. The Red Cross is putting the figure.
For now, we're encouraging county governments
to. Yes, Waziri, go ahead.
Yes. No, we're saying county governments have a role also under the Constitution to work on floodwaters. And we expect all county governments to develop proper drainage in the towns. And these we are working with them to ensure that we give them this capacity. Just today, in this conference here, His Excellency the President has launched 2 mega projects. The Kenya Urban Support Program. We also have the Kenya Devolution Support Program. These are programs that will give over 50 billion to the counties to give them capacity to develop urban areas and also be able to strengthen devolution. This is one of the outputs of today's devolution conference, and we are going to work very closely with our county governments to ensure that we contain these floods, but we also harvest and store this water for production in terms of realizing the pillar under food security. All
right. The Red Cross, Honorable Waziri, is putting the figure of those dead at about 64 and about 140,000. That's a huge number displaced. What figures first does the government have, and how are you helping these people? Considering, again, this ugly cycle that you're talking about, this could be the same people because, as you said, it has hit the arid and semi-arid areas. The same people you're trying to reach 2 months ago to give them food because of the drought are the same people that are now in need of support because of floods.
That is correct. I can tell you I was in Turkana to take food because of drought, and I was called back to take relief food because of floods. River Kalawase had burst its banks, and there were many people, many families affected. As we speak in this conference with the governors, the numbers keep changing. I cannot ascertain the numbers as of tonight because we were visiting Turkana County. We sent another team led by Governor Dado all the way to Tana River. Tana River was the hardest hit. We have sent teams to Isiolo, as I said, and we are now cooperating with our police. Some areas where families have been affected and marooned, we are airlifting food to these areas using police helicopters. We have also talked to the military, and already in areas like Turkana, the Kapedo area that was affected, we have military trucks taking food to areas that had not received food before. As we speak, we've just received a report from Marsabit. The governor for Marsabit here has told us there are areas that have been affected tonight, people have been displaced, and as we speak we are mobilizing overnight, and in the morning we will be able to get a clearer picture with the governor and the county commissioner on the ground as to the situation in Marsabit. So it's widespread, the rains are heavy, and we saw it even this morning in Nairobi. There was such a heavy downpour. They are abnormal rains, but we believe that with proper strategies, knowing very well that climate change is here to stay, we must mitigate against this. And that is where we want to put our focus as national government, working closely with the county governments.
Finally, I'd like to know from you, you had a special kitty when dealing with the drought. I don't know if you have a special kitty right now to deal with the floods and the mitigation programs, but also one of the talking points, I want to take a look at some tweets from people. This has been happening so much on social media. A lot of people talking about the Dakaini Dam and the problem that Nairobi is facing, Waziri, in as far as water rationing is concerned. One of them here, Lord Mutai, says, I'm told there are floods in Nyandarua. He says big floods due to sustained rain in that region, but some public official Okay, they're going very fast. But they're talking about Dakaini Dam and wondering, like here, Filmwangi, all Nairobians must demand an immediate update on the current water levels at Dakaini Dam. The city water cartels, Dakaini Dam not filling up, it's not making sense, it's downstream from Sagana. Everybody is wondering, with all this water we are seeing all over, somehow we are still being told there are not enough levels at the Dakaini Dam, and Nairobi people will have to live with, sadly, water rationing. Many people don't understand. I don't understand myself, Waziri, do you?
Hussein, I think I do, because just coming out of the water docket, I know that we had a prolonged drought, and areas around Muranga and areas where we get water into Ndakaini suffered greatly. You have heard about rivers drying up. Now, with the rains now, we're seeing the rivers beginning to fill. It will take time before Ndakaini fills. And if the rivers were in their normal state and we had not had the prolonged drought, I believe by now Ndakaini will be full. But where rivers had actually dried up and we were getting worried, in fact, there were time the cynics were saying the Northern Collector Tunnel project would be a white elephant because the rivers had dried up. But now with the rains coming, they must now see the wisdom of why we are saying we must ensure we harvest this water. When the Northern Collector Tunnel works across River Gekige, River Irati, this water will recharge in Ndakaini. And that is why we have this tunnel now. The water that is overflowing now is the water we want to harvest and direct into Ndakaini. This will help us bring 140 million liters of water every day into Nairobi. That will do away with the rationing. So tonight, let us ask the people of Nairobi to be patient. As the rains continue, we expect the water levels in Ndakaini to fill. We expect the rivers to go back to normal. But let us know that most of the rivers had dried up or were the lowest ever.
Okay, I mean, many people looking at this and still asking this question. I'll read one more tweet, Waziri, before I let you go. Phil Mwangi, as I was saying, said, all Nairobians must demand an immediate update on the current water levels at Dakaini Dam. The city water cartels could be draining water intentionally from the dam to boost their business. And many people already saying or thinking there could be some foul play. How do you respond to that?
I want to assure Nairobians that Ndakaini is one of the installations that are very security sensitive, and they are secured by government. And the Adi Water Board is the one that is in charge of Ndakaini. It is a protected area, and we cannot have incidences of maybe some people, as you say, going to maybe sabotage or interfere with that dam. It is protected. We believe that the prolonged drought affecting Ndakaini, for the first time in 50 years, we have seen water levels drop to very worrying extents. But with the rains now, there is recovery. And not just in Ndakaini, not just in Muranga, across the country, we are seeing rivers that had actually almost dried up, filling up. When you go to Western now, the Nzoia River is totally full, the Yala River, and we expect that with time, the rivers that had dried up will recover and Ndakaini will fill again.
Waziri, thank you so much for making time for us tonight on The Big Question.